As expected, the latest episode of The Rainmaker solidifies the link between Leo and the Rosalie Sutton case, while also clarifying Jocelyn's position in the unfolding drama. Thankfully, Jocelyn is shown to be committed to justice, even if it means going against her own family's interests. Meanwhile, Rudy slowly begins to piece together the broader conspiracy, realizing that what they've uncovered is only the surface of a much larger, more sinister plot. Rudy remains hot-headed and impulsive, but Dex serves as the voice of reason, often grounding Rudy's intense reactions. Knowing that Jackie Lemansisk is their last hope, Rudy urgently tries to locate her in Episode 8, Leo and the Rosalie Sutton connection. Jay Lyman's loyalty to Leo hints at a shared history. Lyman was imprisoned for the disappearance of Rosalie Sutton, who had been a whistleblower at a fertilizer company. It's implied that Leo, possibly representing the company, persuaded Lyman to send Rosalie abroad before she could testify. Rosalie may have believed Lyman was protecting her, but in reality, he had a secret deal with Leo. There's even speculation that Prince might have been responsible for Rosalie's death. Upon Lyman's release, he aggressively asserted control over Jocelyn's law firm, insisting all decisions be approved by him. He urged Jocelyn to settle the case quickly with a large payout, believing they had no chance of winning. His plan was to exploit Leo's desperation to silence Black, the whistleblower's mother. Jocelyn was disturbed when she discovered her father had secretly arranged a meeting with Leo, who had convinced Keeley to offer $1 million settlement. Jocelyn refused to accept the deal without consulting knowing sought justice, not money. Jocelyn's stance, calling it a mistake, but she remained resolute. She recognized her father's corrupt nature and refused to follow his mercenary approach. Her recent experiences, especially with the Black case, had changed her perspective. Jocelyn was determined to fight for what was right, even if it meant disappointing her father. Brad and Sarah's troubled relationship. Brad was visibly upset when Leo appointed Sarah to lead trial preparations, a task traditionally handled by Brad. Leo explained that Keeley had requested Sarah and doubted Brad's effectiveness after the last deposition. Though Sarah tried to defend Brad, Leo dismissed her. After the meeting, Brad and Sarah met at her apartment to prepare for the trial, but their interaction quickly shifted from professional to personal. Brad questioned why Sarah avoided him after their brief fling in London. Sarah admitted she avoided mixing career and romance, but Brad urged her to be honest about her desires, instead of focusing solely on it. Their intimacy took a dark turn when Brad became physically abusive, almost choking Sarah. She tearfully asked him to leave. The next day, Brad acted as if nothing happened but made clear his actions were deliberate, intending to punish and humiliate Sarah. He believed Sarah lacked the experience to win Leo's favor and doubted her capabilities. Later, Sarah met with Keeley, who advised her to quit the case and the firm to avoid corruption. Keeley cared for Sarah and wanted to protect her from the fallout of bad decisions. However, Sarah refused to back down, determined to prove she was capable and to uphold Keeley's faith in her. Jackie's whereabouts and Rudy's pursuit. Jackie was locked in a storage unit by Melvin, but Rudy and Deck tracked Melvin to the location while Deck suggested staying back. Rudy pursued Melvin inside. Meanwhile, Jane Allen, a private investigator recently fired from the case, decided to help Jackie, feeling indebted to her for a previous favor. Rudy and Deck discovered Prince with Melvin, who had a gun, and accused Prince of arson. Despite the tension, Deck reminded Rudy to stay focused on finding Jackie. Although they located the storage unit, Jackie was missing. Rudy then considered Jackie's possible next move. She might have visited Amber, Charlie's hospitalized wife, out of guilt. Later, Rudy found Jackie at the hospital. Though she tried to flee, Rudy appealed to her, explaining he represented Donnie Ray Black's mother and trusted her. Jackie, still frightened, left, but there's hope she might reconsider and assist them. Rudy's resignation and new alliance. Jocelyn feared Leo would use her past connection to Rosalie Sutton as leverage against her. She had hidden Rosalie for a few days and helped her leave her baby with a relative, but Rosalie never returned to claim her child. Jocelyn confided in Rudy and Deck about this vulnerability. At the episode's end, Lyman revealed he'd already made a deal with Leo as the firm's head, excluding Jocelyn. Realizing the situation was untenable, Rudy resigned. He had anticipated this and arranged for Black to rehire him directly. Rudy handed in his resignation, and Jocelyn was relieved he was willing to fight alone. She encouraged Deck to join Rudy since he was equally invested. Jocelyn then fired Deck, who gladly joined Rudy's team. With Leo and Keely desperate to end the case, they would pressure Rudy heavily to drop it. The key to winning lies with Jackie, whose cooperation remains uncertain. There's also lingering uncertainty about Melvin's fate, whether Prince killed him or if he escaped. Given Melvin's cunning, it's possible he's still at large or will be freed once the case loses momentum.